Hey, podcast here. Frank Sasso here from New Pod City. Just want to let you know, August 3rd to the 6th, August 3, 4, 5, and 6 of 2021, we will be heading down to Nashville, Tennessee for the Podcast Movement 2021. If you want to come and join us in Nashville, Tennessee, August 3rd to the 6th, 2021, you can go to podcastmovement.com, buy your tickets, and be sure to type in New Pod City to receive a 30% discount off your ticket. That's right, New Pod City, all one word, no spaces, to receive a 30% discount right off your ticket price. We look forward to seeing you down there. Sasso out.
This is Jeff.
This is Brandon.
We're the Film Blurs. This episode is brought to you by...
If you're a digital video editor, you need Edius. Edius is all about giving editors the creative freedom to create any application environment. It is designed to put the power in the hands of the editor with incredible flexibility. Edius, editing refined. Edius allows multiple users to edit, work with content as it imports, and getting content to the user incredibly fast. Check out the latest version of Edius that just launched. Download a 30-day trial today at edius.net. Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Rondo's got what plants...
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, and welcome back. This is episode 12 of the Film Blurs. I am Jeff Stewart, filmmaker, photographer, creative, and now I guess I'm officially a podcaster. I guess I got the 12 episodes.
I'm Brandon Norwood, aka the protagonist, aka Joe. They tried to rebuild his dick in the prison ICU. It couldn't work. That nigga's gonna be in the hospital apparently after they rebuilt his asshole. He got stabbed by a shiv in the asshole, so you know he ain't doing too good.
Joe just needs to give up on life, man. Like everything that could go wrong is going wrong in this man's life, and you should not smile about it. You got this grin from ear to ear.
Cause nigga, that shit is hilarious to me.
Well, good luck, Joe, on your prison-made reconstructed dick. I guess they've stopped doing license plates in prison, and now they're just like building cybernetic phalluses, which I'm all about.
Apparently, the prison doctor felt bad and tried to redo it, and she was just like, "Yeah, there's no way," because it's like the fireworks literally blew it to pieces, and he just started crying.
It's just like a wet sock.
No, it's literally in pieces, man.
Oh man,
that firework explosion was serious.
So he's gonna have a Franken dick, huh?
He's just gonna have to pee into a bag. You know what I mean? He's gonna be Varys, except not cool. Nobody likes him. AKA B Wood the Magnificent.
B Wood the Magnificent. So I want to shout out Edius Editing System for giving us some love and some support. And I want to give a big thank you to Mr. Rick Moranis via Frank at New Pod City. They have gifted me with an original Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors, which is the only musical I actually fuck with besides Avenue Q. It's in the original Maxwell House coffee can. It's going to be up on our Instagram. It is amazing. So thanks, New Pod City. Thank you, Rick Moranis. You know, we're doing big things. People know who we are now.
Yes, and shout out to Podcast Magazine for having us featured.
Which is insane.
Yeah, along with Rich and Tim Unleashed. We're along with the whole New Pod City network, Dear Sis podcast. Like, that's crazy that we're in this.
Right. And it's like, we've only been doing this for like a week. Yeah. And the fact that we're in a magazine, it's crazy.
Yeah, and you know what? I like to give a shout out to everybody, especially the Fast family and the BTS fandom, for blowing up last week's episode. It's 2 episodes in a row where for the entire fucking week, my phone's notifications kept going off every 5 minutes. I go to bed, wake up, there's 100 notifications.
Yo.
We should get the head of the BTS American fan club on there. If you're underage, you should get your parents' permission to call in, because this is a filthy show. Shout out to listening.
I would like to actually review Spice World, but have all the Spice Girls call in.
That'd be crazy.
That would be amazing. I think we need to work on that.
They had their own lollipops, and them shits were delicious.
Were they?
Yeah, nigga, them shits were good as fuck.
I don't know. Like, did they have different flavors, or is it just like...
It was just one fucking general flavor.
It just one, just like...
And they had like, each rapper had a different, Spice Girl on it, but them shits were delicious.
But like Scary Spice didn't taste like red licorice.
No.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm not a confectioner. I don't know how candies work for pop bands.
Yeah, but BTS has their own meal at McDonald's. It has those 2 dipping sauces for their McNuggets. Them dipping sauces are good. They're from Korea.
Oh man,
them shits is like delicious. I'm like, yo, if y'all, I'm glad this is a limited thing only, because Brandon's not trying to go back to being a fat boy.
Well, I'm still trying to get that Mulan Szechuan sauce from Rick and Morty.
Oh no,
man, I stood in line for that shit, and they ran out before I got there. I was mad.
I feel bad for you.
I feel bad for myself every day.
All right, all right. Let's do some quick cleanup.
All right.
Last week, I wondered if there was a Underworld shot in 3D, and you weren't sure either, and it was.
Yes.
Underworld Awakening was shot in 3D, released in 3D.
Yeah. After last week, I finished out the Underworld series with Blood Wars, but I did notice that in Awakenings, a lot of shit that was flying at the screen shouldn't have been flying at the screen. So I'm guessing they shot it for 3D.
Yeah, it was shot in 3D, shot and released in 3D. It came out in 2012. So
yeah. Why? I don't know why. It's not even like cool shit was in 3D. It was like a watch flew off towards the screen. It's like, you lazy motherfuckers.
Can I just say that they beat this dead horse badly, because that first one came out in 2003.
Yeah.
And then the most recent one, 2016. Nobody gave a fuck once it hit 2010, dog.
Yo, like I watched Blood War last week, and
we'll save it for the next game.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, yeah, they should have put a bullet in this. They should have put a silver bullet in the back of this fucking series head.
Really, the shit ends with 3. Like 3's the prequel, and 2 has a strong enough ending where that should have just been it.
Yeah.
But 2, anyways. Also, Jeff, you texted me that the Tomorrow War is getting a sequel, and I just want to say, Paramount, now you doubly fucked up.
Right. Like, I don't see how this gets a sequel. It was a fine enough movie in itself, but now you're trying to fucking world build with this shit. Spoiler alert: the end of the Tomorrow War is that they ended the Tomorrow War. And
apparently everybody's coming back, like literally everybody, including Yvonne Strahovski. So I'm guessing she's gonna travel back in time or some shit.
I don't know.
I don't know either. So
stop.
If you lived, you're coming back. So. Yeah, this was Amazon's second highest streamed shit ever. Like the opening weekend numbers, they said were crazy. It's number 2 behind Coming to America.
Right. So I mean, that's a low bar though.
Coming to America is just a lame duck of a movie, and it's only those numbers are high because why wouldn't you watch that for free? You know what I mean?
Right. I gave you my pitch for how I think Coming to America should have been written, right?
No, you haven't. Go ahead and run through that.
All right. So my pitch for Coming to America was, 2 as in the number. I would call it Coming to Zamunda, and it would be about the bastard son realizing that he is royalty, going to Zamunda and just playing out everything that happened in the first one. As him like getting to know his father without his father actually knowing that that he's his son.
Okay,
it'd been much more interesting movie that way instead of what we got.
It was just
we didn't need a sequel to it anyway.
Well, it was recycled and reheated. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
The only jokes I laughed at were the things that were obviously ad-libbed.
So, and some more cleanup. This is the last part of cleanup. Jeff, you called the last week because I got a lot of interesting messages. Remember, this wasn't from me. This is Jeff. I don't tell Jeff what to say. Jeff says his own shit. I say my own shit. I do not think Harley Quinn, women who dress as Harley Quinn, are thoughts. I just want to say I get what he's trying to say in that it's basic because it's kind of stereotypical to dress like that. However, I love the character of Harley Quinn. I grew up, she first premiered in Batman the Animated Series, and that's, one of the best, if not the best interpretation of Batman yet. So I always loved that character because it was so well done in the cartoon, and Margot Robbie is like the embodiment of that character. But as far as that goes, like that's Jeff, not Brandon.
Well, wait, I've been getting hate mail?
Yeah, nigga, like a lot of ladies were they were mad, and you know what? I said, yo, listen, you have to. I am not the nigga to talk to about this.
Right? They can have this conversation with me.
I don't know what to tell you other than that was not me. Play the shit back again. Run that shit back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you have an issue with anything I say, I am very accessible online.
At MindfireXL on Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
That's who you hit up, nigga.
Be mad. I don't care. Like we say, it's just fucking movies. All right, if you want to have a discussion, go ahead, and you can give me your well thought out argument for the fact that it's the sexy nurse of the 2000s. This is a Harley Quinn costume. It's that persona.
It's a stereotype.
It's a stereotype at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay.
All right. So, Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What you watching? What you watching? I said what you watching? What you watching?
What are you watching?
Okay. What am I watching? I started watching Fear Street 1994, which, if you don't know, it's this new anthology series, movie, whatever like that, that's on Netflix. And the description is based on an R.L. Stine property, which already I went in hating it, wanted to hate it. Because R.L. Stine, you think Goosebumps, you think like very childlike, my first scary movie, first scary book.
I grew up reading Goosebumps, and as a little kid, them shits did scare the fuck out
of me. As a little kid, but I'm thinking, okay, as an adult, I'm not going to like this.
I mean, I've never read Fear Street, so I'll let you talk about that. But as far as Goosebumps, like I read one of the books recently. Shit is entertaining. You know what I mean? Like if you read it like, oh, this is for kids, it's entertaining. Oh.
Right. Well, so the movie starts out, and there are no less than, I would say, 15 needle drops within the first 15 minutes.
Yikes.
Yeah, they were trying to real hard to convince me that it was 1994.
Yikes.
Yeah, so like it felt like now this is music 1994 edition.
Yikes.
That's how bad it was. And so that was a strike for me. Like, it was a big strike for me because when it comes to needle drops and everything like that, and the use of music in movies, I mean, it's got to have a purpose. It can't just be shorthand for emotion or something like that. I'm glad I stuck with the movie though, because it got progressively better and more interesting the further it went in there. It's executive produced by Adam Wingard. So if you know Adam Wingard, he directed
You're Next,
The Guest, and
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, and he's doing the new Thundercats too, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been a big fan of his aesthetic because I mean he grew up watching 80s horror movies, and you can see, especially in The Guest and You're Next, that influence, that 70s 80s influence in his work. So when watching this, it didn't have that same sort of vibe. I mean, I know he was only executive producing and everything like that, but like I said, it's tried too hard to be 1994 instead of just being a movie that takes place in 1994. But like I said, it got progressively better throughout and more interesting. And so that led into Fear Street 1978, Okay, because I guess they're progressively going back in time, the whole entire storyline. And I watched that this morning, and that is everything that they made a mistake on in the first one, they corrected in the second one. Like, my biggest problem was the needle drops, and the music in the 1978 movie, the second in the series. It's well placed. Most of it's diegetic. So it's like people actually playing this stuff on the radio, so it makes sense. It's just not there as shorthand, and it's a dime tight sort of camp slasher movie.
Same director?
I'm not sure if it's the same director. Let me see. But so Fear Street, the 1994 came out last week. 1978 came out on Friday, and so next week Fear Street 66 is coming out to finish the trilogy, and I'm actually really, really looking forward to that. Let's see who directed 78. My computer's acting up. I'm not sure if it's the same director or not. We'll get back to that.
All right.
And then I was watching Underworld
Blood Wars. Oh boy, I saw Kate Beckinsale, and this one has blonde highlights for some reason.
Well, because she dies and then her spirit is resurrected, and now she has different hair and she wears a fur, and she can do all sorts of necromancy shit. It's horrible. It is so dumb.
Let me ask you a question, because she levels up at the end of the second one.
Right.
Because now she's basically Blade by the end of 2. Does she level up again in the fourth one?
No, she doesn't level up in the fourth one, but she levels up in this fifth one. This fifth one now.
Goddamn video game.
Right. Not only can she walk in the daylight, but she can move super fast, almost like a phantom.
Sure.
So she can kill everybody in a room in like 5 seconds with this like ghost apparition sort of trail behind her. It's dumb.
Sounds dumb.
It's violent. It's plenty violent, plenty gory, everything like that. If that's what you want from it, but it is just so. It takes itself so seriously. It is. Okay. It's just. It has no fun with it. Like you've got vampires and werewolves. Where's the fucking fun?
I mean, none of these shits is fun, honestly.
Yeah, like no one smiles.
I mean, the only thing I can say personally from the 3 I've watched is like, at least they're not 2 hours like the first one. Like the first one is 2 hours, and then everyone after that's only an hour and a half.
Yeah. And it doesn't even need to be an hour and a half. It could be an hour. It could be a TV show.
Yeah. It feels like all of them feel just slight. You know what I mean? Like nothing matters. Nothing has any weight to it. You know what I mean? Like,
because in the fourth one, they're supposed to be like, all right, humans know about them, and the humans are hunting both vampires and werewolves, but that storyline is just totally abandoned in the fifth one. So it's just back to fucking vampires and werewolves fucking each other up for some fucking reason. I mean, like, you're both kind of monsters that shouldn't exist. Can't you just like kumbaya it? You know, like there's plenty of human carcasses around for you to feast on.
I don't know. They get into the whole blood feud in like the first 3 movies, and honestly, I don't remember enough, and I don't care enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's someone fucked someone's uncle, someone killed someone's sister. It's Game of Thrones without the thrones or the games,
or the complexity, or the nuance, or the great character work.
Yeah, but they're trying to build that kind of mythology. They were. I hope this series is dead, because I don't want to wake up in 2022 and see that there's blood. There's a new Underworld Blood Wars Part 2, The Bloodening, or whatever bullshit title they decide to come up with.
You know what? I also hope Ludden Wiseman just goes away for a little bit. He is still attached to Die Hard Year One, which is the dumbest fucking thing in the world, just because the first one's literally Die Hard Year One.
And here's the thing. I love the Die Hard movies all the way up through 3. All right. The thing that everyone loves about John McClane is just he's like a regular cop.
Yeah.
Who just happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Then you get the fourth one. Was that Live Free or Die Hard?
That was Len Wiseman's one.
Yeah. Where he's fucking fighting drones with cabs and shit like that.
Taking out a helicopter with a car. Like,
it's just...
And then remember the freeway sequence where there's a fighter jet firing missiles at him? I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing here, man?
Right. He's not an action hero. Like, John McClane is just a dude with some really bad luck and some fucking skills.
Yeah. It's not Rambo. Like, Rambo, you get how that can escalate. You know what I'm saying?
I rewatched Rambo, like the fourth one over the weekend. Man, that's a bad movie.
Yeah. I was when I first saw it, I was like 18. I always got wrapped up in it because of all the action and violence in it. And now you watch it now, you're just like, woo.
Yeah, that's real problematic.
And I heard, and I haven't seen it, but I heard the last one ain't better either.
Oh no, it's
I heard that
bullshit.
Yeah, I heard a lot of a lot of things about that. I mean, that's like three. He teamed up with the Taliban, and then
can't do that now.
Had the fucking on-screen text at the end, like, this film is dedicated to the peaceful Talibani. I was just like, woo.
That movie did not age well at all.
Yeah, so for all of you out there, I want to give you a heads up. Watch the first Rambo because it's a nice meditation on
PSTD.
PSTD in Vietnam and how Vietnam vets were treated, and they were treated and still are treated like shit. And then I would say watch 2 because 2 is a cool action movie, and then you jump ship from there. There's no reason for you to see 3, 4
or 5,
and 5 I can't speak on. I've heard so much shit about 5 where I'm just like, that is gross. I don't want to see any of that shit.
I mean, there's a lot of rape in it.
Well, besides the rape, like, just the politics are gross. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, the politics in all of the Rambos except for one were kind of like, let's kill the brown people.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he went to like China or Cambodia in 2.
Yeah, camp he went to a POW camp and just fucking started missing in action the whole entire fucking Chuck Norris blowing up everything.
Yeah.
Third one, well, he helped the he helped the wrong brown people in that one. I think Osama was a consultant on that one. The fourth one, he kills a whole bunch of people in Laos.
Yeah.
And then fifth one,
and they're pedophiles for some reason?
No, I mean, it's the same amount of pedophilia that was in that Idris Elba child warrior movie.
That one?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's implied that, but it's not explicit. And then, you've got Rambo 5, where he just fucking kills Mexico. Like, he takes on the cartel, all of them.
Yeah, that's all. But what were we talking about?
I have no idea. We're talking about just...
It was Underworld.
How do we get the fucking Rambo?
Because the shit sequels, bro. That's why.
Yeah, but like, we've talked about this before. I don't know how Rambo got so fucking popular. There was a cartoon and a cereal.
Yeah, man, and action figures. Yeah, we talked about this before. Like, I don't know. Like, the second one, I just remember him taking an arrow
and blowing a dude up.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what the? Like, even watching that for the first time, I was like, wait, how did it start from? It's like Fast and Furious. I'm like, how do we go from this to this?
Wait, how do we go from a man who's like haunted in the woods, just like, leave me alone, just let me be in peace, to like, all right, well, I'm going to got this arrow with some fucking explosives on it. Just fucking let's blow this motherfucker's asshole up.
I mean, Rambo 2 is what started the extreme violence in movies.
Yeah,
like that. It is the Godfather.
You think that or RoboCop?
Which one came out first? Because I know Rambo 2 is the one that got it popular, because that it became slang. Like, going Rambo on motherfuckers just meant you're killing a bunch of motherfuckers,
right?
And that came from number 2. Which one came first?
Let's have a look. All right, First Blood came out in 82.
Okay.
Let's see when RoboCop came out.
So First Blood came out in 82, I think. 80.
Okay, all right, you're right. First Blood came out in 82. RoboCop came out in 87.
Wait, when did First Blood Part 2 come out? Because that's where it started. Is First Blood Part 2, not first.
85.
So because that's where it started. Yeah.
Right, yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
So Rambo is the godfather of balls to the wall, explicit violence
that we have today.
Yeah.
So shout out to Sylvester Stallone for bodying motherfuckers and I don't know. All right, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Anything else you watched?
HBO Max decided that I really needed to see Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And so fuck you, HBO Max. I had forgotten how bad the movie was. I thought it was bad when I first watched it. And then I was like, you know what? It can't be that bad. HBO Max wouldn't steer me wrong. So I clicked on it. It's worse. It's worse than I remember it. I can't decide if it's problematic and stupid or just stupid.
I just remember, because I went to a press screening for that, and I just remember it being in 3D. I was pissed that it was in 3D. I remember he asked his son for a kiss. Son gave him a kiss, and then Anthony Mackie's like, "Hey, me too." Gave him a kiss on the cheek, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And then it got to the part at the end, and I'll never forget this, of them swinging the axe back and forth to each other to kill the vampires in slow motion
on a train that's on fire.
Yeah. And I that's all I remember from the shit. And I just remember it ends with a fucking Linkin Park song, and I was just like, I could not get out of that motherfucking auditorium faster. That's all I remember, is like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Somebody get me the fuck out of here.
That's pretty much how it plays out now. It's horrible. The vampires come out in the daylight. There's a whole entire scene where there's a duel between Abe Lincoln and a vampire, where in the middle of a stampede, where the vampire starts throwing horses at Abraham Lincoln.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, word?
Yeah.
Okay, it's fucking Russians, man. That's fucking Russian filmmakers.
They is based on a novel, because the novels, they were updating classical novels to have horror in them, like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. That movie wasn't too bad. It was decent. I wouldn't say it's good, but it was decent. But it was like a bunch of them. They did like Zombies with one of them. I think it was like, I forget. It's one of them shits. Right. But
I mean, I've got, if anyone wants to give me any money for Teddy Roosevelt Werewolf Hunter, I mean, fucking, I can write a script in about 3 days. But yeah, no, it's fucking horrible. But it reminds me that Anthony Mackie is universal. He's eternal, because even the most forgettable movies, he's in there.
Yeah,
like he's earned his Captain America stripes.
Yeah,
by being in a whole bunch of shit movies that you don't realize he's in until you watch them. It's like, oh shit, I forgot Anthony Mackie was in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and I forgot he was in Pain and Gain, and I forgot he was in 8 Mile.
See, that's the only roles I think of him is Papa Doc and 8 Mile, where he gets, just because the end is hilarious, right. And then the second thing is oh man, what the fuck is that movie with fuck? It's escaped me, but it's only 2 roles. Anyways, yeah, man. Like I'm glad the nigga got because I remember it came down between him and what's my man's name, Jeremy Renner for Brandt for Mission Impossible, and honestly, he should have just gave. Yeah. Oh yeah, Hurt Locker. That's the only other movie I
that's right. I forgot he was.
So those 2 movies outside of Captain America are the ones that pop into mind. But like, yeah, man, I was like, yo, honestly, Jeremy Renner, and that was at the point where Jeremy Renner was in everything, to the point where I'm like, stop putting him in shit. Like, yo, stop trying
to make him a star.
Yeah, like, stop. Like, right. and that I was like, Jeremy, you're already in like 8 franchises. Like, he should have gave that to him. Like,
right.
Like, god damn, man. Like, And then remember that nigga had an app?
Wait, I'm sorry. Who had an app?
Jeremy Renner. You don't remember that? That nigga had an app.
I know he's a country music singer.
No,
I wouldn't call him a star.
It was pop rock.
Oh, pop rock, even worse.
Yeah, so he did a pop rock album.
Right.
And he had an app. And I remember that app blew up and it became like the springboard for all the worst people in the world. And he had to shut down the app.
Wait. So like the Jeremy Renner app became an alt-right social media platform? That tickles me. That brings joy to my heart.
There's a reason why nobody likes Hawkeye.
I mean, I fuck with Hawkeye. I mean, he's got arrows and shit.
Yo, get him the fuck out of here. I'm glad we're getting Kate Bishop in the show.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're just like, Kevin Feige's like, yeah, you need to give me that shit. Here you go, little girl. You got your money. Go on your very way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. All right.
Jeremy Renner has an app. What are you doing with your life?
App that no longer works and no longer functions. So,
yeah, it became Parler.
So I mean, that shit just it's done.
Wow. Hey.
Anything else you watched?
I mean, it's all becomes a fucking blur. But those are the standouts from this week.
All right. So I'll get into what I watched. I'm gonna do a couple of reviews for stuff that comes out this weekend, and I'm gonna hold off on those till the end. But for right now, let's start with 100 Haunted Mansion, because again, I'm trying to get some mileage out of my Disney Plus, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, man, I'll watch Haunted Mansion.
Is that the one with Eddie?
Yeah, it's an hour and 20 minutes. That's without credits. With credits, it's an hour and 28 minutes. It is just as bad as you heard. It's no exaggeration there. It is bad.
See, the thing is, I didn't hear anything about it. That's how bad it was. I didn't know anyone who actually watched it.
Yeah, and this is one they spent money on. This is like $100 million family movie, and I'm just like, Disney, they did not know what the fuck they were doing for a minute, because I watched another one I'll get into in a few. But yeah, man, the Haunted Mansion, even Eddie's just flat. He has no personality, nothing.
So I know how you make Pirates of the Caribbean, make that leap from ride to movie. How do you make a Haunted Mansion movie? What is the setup?
You could easily do it. But you need to make it a horror movie.
Well, Disney's not gonna do a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because I know Guillermo wants to do the Haunted Mansion. I'm like, oh well, he would kill it,
right? But they would never let that happen.
Oh,
they would never. No, anything over PG-13, Disney's not getting. There's not adult Disney.
I mean, he could pull off a PG-13 horror movie and make it effective, but the fact is, if I don't think Disney would want it to go there.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's a nothing movie. I can't even tell you. Eddie Murphy's a self-involved real estate agent who's ignoring his family. We've seen that a dime a dozen.
Right.
So I mean,
and I'm guessing he has to sell this one property.
Yep.
And they get stuck in there.
Yep.
Blah blah blah.
His wife is kidnapped by the ghost, because one of the ghosts thinks it's his long lost love, and he has to rescue his kids and his wife. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right. That's cool.
Moving on, I saw moving through Neo Noir. I recorded everything. I'm gonna watch them tomorrow on TCM. But I wanted to get through another one on the Criterion Channel. They had Across 110th Street under their Neo Noir.
All right.
It is not a Neo Noir. I don't know why it's under Neo Noir.
It's blaxploitation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know why they stuck that under Neo Noir. I was like, it has noir elements, yeah, but it's not.
I think they mean noir because there's black people in it.
I will say this. The version that Tarantino uses and Jackie Brown of the theme song is much better than the version they use in the movie.
Okay, I didn't know there were two versions.
I didn't either till they played the opening credits, and I'm like, ooh, this is not.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that the film is doing and its themes of the movie are still relevant today, about police corruption, black against white, black against white cops, black against white in crime. You know what I mean? It's
Wait, you mean the systemic racism isn't new?
no, man. I mean,
Huh.
I would say just for that, it's worth watching, but it's nothing memorable. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yapik Koto's in it. Like it has a big cast. Like Burgess. No. Burt Young's in it.
Okay.
And like it's worth checking out, but nothing. Like I said, don't get your hopes up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I take all those 70s blaxploitation films with a grain of salt. Like I understand that what they were up against production wise, and they were just cranking them out. So I try not to like judge them on the same sort of scale.
Right. I'm gonna watch another one. There's another blaxploitation movie up in the neo noir section. I was flipping through because there's like 20 something movies in there.
Right.
One of them is Chinatown. I completely forgot Chinatown's a neo noir.
Yeah. I mean, is it? I suppose it is neo noir because it came out after,
And it's in color.
right. It's in color.
It's rated R.
but it takes place in the 50s, so
Right.
it's sort of like a noir.
It's a neo one because
Yeah.
it's not made during the classical period, and it's in color.
All right.
So yeah,
All right. Yeah, no, Chinatown. I mean, what can you say? It's Chinatown.
yeah, man. He's a scumbag, but my man's got joints. Like Roman Polanski, he has like joints that most directors would wish they had. But yeah, man, too bad he's a scumbag.
Yeah. Did you ever watch The Two Jakes?
No.
That's the sequel to Chinatown.
Yes, I know. And
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a trilogy, and because The Two Jakes was so bad, they never got around to that third
Yeah,
movie.
I haven't even bothered watching
Yeah,
The Two Jakes.
listen, why? Chinatown's right there. You know what I mean?
Right, Chinatown's right there, and like Chinatown was so good that they're still using it in film schools to talk about screenwriting.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. Well, I might revisit that this week, maybe. I also watched. Let's get into this one. I watched Let Him Go. That is the neo western with Kevin Costner and Diane Lane.
that popped up in my feed, and it sort of looked interesting, but I'm not sure.
It's a decent little western thriller. You know what I mean? It takes place in the 50s. This is besides the two DC movies that they're in. This is the only other movie that they've done together. Diane Lane and
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. Those two make a nice couple.
Yeah?
Like a nice. You see it.
Yeah.
It's a hard movie to watch just because like you're watching these two people go through a lot.
Right.
And then it doesn't help that the family they got to rescue their daughter-in-law and their grandson from are just complete fucking psychopaths and scumbags. So like, it's a slow burn. You know what I'm saying? Don't go in expecting like a shoot 'em up. It doesn't become a shoot 'em up till the end.
Right.
And it ain't a triumphant shoot 'em up. I'll tell you that. This movie will not make you feel good.
All right, good. I like movies that make me depressed.
So Let Him Go is worth checking out.
On your neo noir list, I forgot to mention this. I finally watched Sweet Virginia with John Barenthal. You should give that a try. It's on Hulu.
All right, you're gonna have to text that to me because I'm gonna forget.
All right, yeah, it's a nice slow burn, but it's like real good character work.
All right. So also got into Space Jam because we got to watch the sequel next week.
Oh, that's right. That's coming out this week, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be on HBO Max. We thank God because
I'm not.
watching the trailers for the new one. I'm like, you motherfucker spent way too much money on this dumb shit for something this fucking stupid. I saw Space Jam opening night in theaters. Like my cousin took me, and I just remember loving the movie.
Right.
Rewatching it as a grown ass adult.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Space Jam. When did it come out?
96.
Yeah, I haven't seen Space Jam since 96.
It is not good at all.
Oh yeah, I have no illusions that it would be.
Yeah, man. I get why I liked it as a kid, and I don't begrudge kids for liking this because I get it.
It's not. It's like I said before. Like I always say, some movies aren't for you.
Yeah.
Some movies are for another demographic.
Yes, and this is just like the only thing that has like stood the test of time is the soundtrack. Like
Yeah, that's the soundtrack hit hard.
Fucking Seal doing the cover of "Fly Like an Eagle," like that shit. That shit was hitting my subwoofer hard.
And what was the Monstars? Like when you guys were fucking Method Man,
Busta Rhymes, Be Real. Yeah, that shit was hard. Damn, even though he's a fucking piece of shit too, I Believe I Can Fly was huge.
Yeah,
we're not gonna say his name.
Oh yeah, well no, it's like Beetlejuice. You can't say his name 3 times.
Yeah. That sound, even the theme song, the Space by the Quad City DJs, like Space Jam. The theme song is just it's hard, man.
I think that's the last time a soundtrack was good enough for you to start listening to it on its own.
Yeah, like. Well, the Men in Black soundtrack was hard too.
I mean, but doesn't they come out at the same time?
Men in Black came out in 97 or 98.
Okay, all right.
But this one had D'Angelo on it too. Like D'Angelo was on it. Monica had a track on here. Like them 2 soundtracks, like they had some hitters. Like Men in Black had Nas. It had one of Will Smith's best songs.
Right.
Had Tribe. It had De La Soul. Had The Roots.
Yeah.
Had Snoop. Like they had some motherfuckers on that one.
So I wonder who's going to be on the soundtrack for Space Jam
2. Yeah, I don't know why that hasn't dropped yet. The movie's coming out literally this weekend. Like, why haven't they dropped that soundtrack? Like they released a song with Little Baby and Kirk Franklin, which I was like, what? Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, what the fuck?
Wait,
but then you listen to it and you're like, they made a hip hop gospel song, and it's actually good.
Look, Kirk Franklin is one just fucking mistake away from being a gangster rapper.
Yeah,
you know, he's just one. He's just one. Like, I anytime I hear a Kirk Franklin song, I expect him to like, niggas give it up for Jesus. You know, like I oh shit, oh god, fuck. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he gets hardened.
So we'll move into the next thing I watched yesterday on Disney Plus, which was, like I said, I'm trying to get mileage out of this fucking Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah.
Around the World in 80 Days. Not the old one, the one that people love.
The one with Jackie Chan?
And Stephen Coogan.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I could say the best thing about it is the one fight Jackie Chan has. And that's it.
Well, it's a Jackie Chan fight.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's only one. And it's only a 5-10 minute sequence in a movie that's like an hour and 40 minutes. And the rest, and yeah, it is just as bad as you think it is. This is one of the biggest failures ever. Like, this cost 120 million and only made 60 million worldwide, not just in America. I'm talking globally.
60 million globally. Still better than Tenet.
No, that is much worse than Tenet. Tenet made 300.
Oh, did it? Was that 300 now? Okay, that's right. It only made 60 in the U.S.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I wish people would realize you can't have Jackie Chan in a movie without either Chris Tucker or Luke Wilson.
Well, guess what? Both of the Wilson brothers were in this. Both Luke and Owen pop up in a cameo, and Stephen Coogan's cool, but he doesn't make a good comedic foil for Jackie Chan. And plus, the movie's just not good, man. Like, they do all these weird graphics and shit where you're just like, did somebody do like 8 lines of cocaine? It felt like somebody who has severe ADD and did like massive amounts of cocaine did all the graphics in this movie for when they're traveling from like England to India or from India to China. It's just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Is that how they do the transition between the countries? It's just like a dude doing a line from like America all the way to Australia. It was like with the Indiana Jones theme song.
I would imagine. So listen, I want to make this clear. I've never done cocaine, but like every time I see bad choices, like I've lived with people who've done cocaine. I've seen people who've done cocaine, and you just see how dumb they get and how energetic they get, and that's just what it seems like.
Yeah, they get real amped up over dumb ideas.
Yeah, man. They're like, why don't you want to do a line with me, bro? I'm like, I'm good.
Because it looks like you're about to have a heart attack.
Like, we got all this liquor, all this weed around. You guys are popping pills on top of snorting cocaine, breaking down. Like, the kids I was living with, because I was living in Harlem.
Right.
And I had to share this. I had to share a room with a bunch of kids. And these kids, because I wouldn't do snort pills or snort cocaine with them, they thought I was younger than them. When in factuality, I was older, and they're like,
Right.
you just want to drink and smoke weed? I'm like, yeah, I'm good on snorting shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever need to do that. You have fun.
Know your truth.
You have fun, my nigga.
Know
Like,
your truth.
you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's around the world in 80 days.
Coke dreams.
All right, so let's get into one or two documentaries I'm going to review. Me and my homegirl, we're a big fan of The Roots. We wanted to, it's on Hulu, but we wanted to give Questlove his flowers, you know what I mean, and go see it in a theater. I paid nothing for it. She paid for it. We saw Summer of Soul. It's Questlove's first movie. It's a documentary about the Harlem Cultural Festival in 1969. Very well done. It's moving because it's just like, it's cool just seeing like black people thrive in 1969. And they point out why it's hard for black people to thrive in 1969. It's worth checking out. If you have Hulu, watch it immediately. If you don't have Hulu, go see it. I would have seen it in Dolby Cinema, which Dolby Cinema, it's like the next best thing to IMAX because it has Dolby Atmos and they got laser projection. I was going to go see it in Dolby Cinema till my crazy ass boss held me hostage for the entire day. So I missed it, and I would have loved to hear all these songs in Dolby Atmos. And I'm pissed. And I would just like to say, Hulu, you need to start offering 4K support. 4K support with playback, with Dolby Atmos playback.
Well, I didn't even know they weren't doing 4K.
Only on select devices. And the devices, there's only 3 that qualify for 4K.
What are those devices?
It's like Roku, Apple TV, and one other thing.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I've got Apple TV, so it's not a problem. But like Roku, really? Like, okay.
Yeah, Hulu, step your game up. God damn it. Great content, but you need to start offering that 4K, that sweet 4K and Dolby Atmos playback like everybody else.
Well, Hulu, if you're listening to this, pull your shit together.
Yeah. So that's one documentary. The next documentary I'm going to get into is called Roadrunner. It comes out this Friday. It is about Anthony Bourdain.
Oh.
I was really excited to see this just because I'm a big fan of No Reservations and what's the other one he did? Parts Unknown.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Those were great fucking... Anthony Bourdain was somebody I looked up to just because he was so well-spoken, well-read. He seemed like a guy who just lived through a lot and just had a lot of wisdom behind it.
Right.
And then you know, he killed himself, and you hearing that, you're just like, man, that sucks. And you watch this movie and it's just like, well, Anthony Bourdain was never going to have a happy ending no matter what, just because this was a guy who was just dealing with a lot. And he just, as somebody pointed it out, he was an addict because he was a heroin addict before he became a chef. And he kicked his heroin addict and just became an addict with working.
Right.
And just dove head in first with work. And clearly he liked doing the TV show, but he got tired of doing the TV show, right? To the point where I don't know what else he would have done, and it's very clear that he didn't know what else he wasn't happy.
Right.
Clearly just wasn't happy. Like, he was the guy said one of the people he was working with was he was in a rush to get the scene, he was a rush to get in the scene, and he was always rushing to get out of the scene. Like, he never was satisfied.
Right.
Like, he had 2 marriages. I didn't even know this, but he has a daughter. He left behind a daughter. Mm-hmm. I remember around the time he died, he was dating Asia Argento. And I don't want to... It's unfair. It's unfair
to blame her.
Yeah, right. It's unfair because he's dealing with a lot.
Right.
And
well, I mean,
I think it contributed to it, but not... It was a lot of other factors.
Right. I mean, he didn't need someone to lead him to the edge, but she didn't necessarily help the situation.
Yeah, because you could... He dove head first into that relationship and started really projecting himself and grafting himself onto a lot of her quirks and a lot of her personality. And you could tell near the end that she was starting to get uncomfortable with a lot of stuff. Like he would bring up in conversations how well she was parallel parking and stuff like that. And she was getting like uncomfortable with that. And like a few weeks before he killed himself, like all the tabloids were picking up like, oh, she's like dating this other guy and like she's having an affair. And there's pictures of it. And it's just like, oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, people like Anthony Bourdain, they have a lot of demons and, you know, and it's hard to face them. And so they go in the other direction.
And I think doing the show also changed him because you can't go off to like a resort, sitting there eating the nicest food. People are pouring their heart out to you over this meal. You're bonding. You're getting to know people who are giving you a point of view that you would never have. And 5 miles away, they're bombing the shit out of like all these families. Like, of course, that's going to change you between hearing somebody's story and seeing that. Like, you're not going to come back the same person. And I think that's also what fucked him up a bit, was just going to all these places and seeing all these people suffering. And then
like just hopping back on your plane and going to wherever and not being able to like truly help. I mean,
and they had a strict fly on the wall protocol. Like their producer said, we cannot intervene in any way because it's just a lot of things can happen. Right. And it got to the point where it was so bad at one point, and they show it in the documentary. It got so bad where Anthony's like, yo, we have all this extra food, give it to him. And they started handing out the extra food, and you'll see what happens in the documentary. Right. But
so it's one to watch, especially
go see it. It comes out in theaters this weekend. There's a lot of stuff I realize I have in common with Anthony Bourdain, and I know how to handle stuff like that. I'm getting help with stuff like that, but at the same time, I wish part of it is being happy, and he just was never happy.
Right. You know, some people don't know what their happiness looks like.
Yeah,
that's also.
Yeah. Because you know, David Chang's being interviewed in it, and he gives a really heartfelt aside. Because he says like Anthony, he can't forgive him, but he knew he wasn't being malicious or doing this out of anger or spite. But he told him something. I'm going to save this for the film. But he said he told him something, and he started breaking down crying. And he says like, oh, fuck it, he's dead. Let me just tell you what he said. And he said it, and he's just like, yo, that fucking hurt. You know, I know he wasn't trying to be like evil about it, but like that fucking hurt. And like, I wouldn't, like, you think about it, you're like, yeah, who says that to somebody? You know what I mean?
All right, I gotta watch this fucking movie.
So yeah, Roadrunner.
Is it theaters and on a streaming service, or is it just in the movies?
Just in the theaters for the first 30 or 40 days, and then it'll go to premium on demand.
Okay.
So yeah, Roadrunner comes out this weekend. Another movie that comes out this weekend that I am going to review right now, and please, if you fucking see this movie, I hate you.
Okay.
Escape Room, Tournament of Champions. The first one is probably one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life.
And that's a big piece of shit, because we've seen a lot of pieces of shit.
They somehow made a movie worse than this fucking first one.
I think
holy shit.
Isn't that the goal with some of these movies, to make a worse film than the first one, because they know they kind of lucked out on the first one?
I couldn't stop laughing for the first 4 minutes of the movie, because the first 4 minutes of the movie, they literally, and I mean, I'm not kidding here, they literally recap the entire fucking first movie in the first 4 minutes. Like, they should have just started off with previously on Escape Room.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they did that, because now I don't have to watch the original Escape Room, which I didn't know existed until I saw the trailer for Tournament of Champions.
The only thing that this one has over the first one is like, this one, they actually have likable characters.
Okay.
They throw some last minute twist in, because there's only two characters. Your two main characters are they're survivors of the first one.
Right.
They come back in the second one, get recaptured because they're trying to bring down the evil corporation who's killing people.
Of course they're trying to.
And there's a surprise twist in the third act where I'm just like, Oh, so this shit just went full Saw. Like, this is just Saw for kids.
Yeah, all right. Now you said enough.
The thing I could say I could appreciate about this that Saw doesn't do is like this has more emphasis on the escape rooms and the traps than it does on the gore. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but the gore is the best parts of these movies because everything else, like,
is it though?
The story, there's no story.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, my thing is too is like how big like this by the way, this has the same fucking ending as the first movie. I was like, are you serious? This is how you ended the first fucking movie, and they just ramped it up by 2, and I'm just like, wait, time out. How fucking big is this corporation? Do they own like the world? Like this shit just
it's some shit. That's what Jeff Bezos is doing next.
It makes no fucking
some
sense.
Escape room shit.
It makes no fucking sense. I was like, the end of this, I'm just like, bro, no company is this big. Like even Amazon would get fucking shut down immediately. Like get the fuck out of here.
But now we know that fucking Escape Room All Stars is coming out.
No,
part 3.
Let this shit die. Please do not see this shit. I want it to die. I want it to die awfully.
It's not going to.
I don't want Escape Room 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Escape Room 5.
A line of dialogue in this film is when they get trapped in here, they're like, were you in here? And she's like, yeah. Were you in the first one? Oh my God, we're all survivors. Oh my God, it's happening again. And she goes, what is this, some tournament of champions? I was like,
fuck you. I hate it when they say the name
like
of
that?
The movie in the movie. Like that.
Yeah, exactly. Is this some tournament of champions?
Fucking you lazy motherfuckers.
Yeah, man. Everything about this shit. Taylor Russell, you've been in other movies and you've been great in other movies. Stop doing this shit. She's the main black girl. The black girl's the lead character in both these movies. Stop doing this shit.
She needs money, man. Everybody needs to eat.
Yeah. Stop doing this shit.
Everybody needs to eat, baby.
Fuck. Join one of them DC CW shows. You'll at least be guaranteed at least 4 seasons. Like you can eat off that shit. Like don't do this shit. Yeah. So
what is this? Some sort of turns dramatically to the camera. Tournament of champions?
Like the only thing I can say.
Fuck you. No, fuck you. Fuck that.
The only thing I can say is like they spent a lot more money on the traps and the rooms themselves, but at the same time, this is somehow the first one was fucking shittily edited and heavily ADR. This one is more shittily edited and has more ADR. Like there won't be on the screen or their head will be literally turned from the camera and they'll be saying lines. And I'm like, this is clearly ADR. Or they'll add in like somebody's running on screen and you'll hear the other character say something. I'm like, wow, y'all did some really bad ADR and editing here. Holy shit.
Now I've got to see this goddamn movie because it sounds so horrible.
And I came out of it. I was like, who directed it? Because as soon as the credits started rolling, I was like, I'm out. And I ran out.
Who directed it?
It was the dude who did the first one. I was like, bro, how did you make a shittier movie? Oh, man. Stop. Yeah. If we have to do another one of these, please don't bring him back.
Let me see what this dude's done before. Let's see.
All right. You look that up. Escape Room. It comes out this Friday, motherfucker. Go see. Do not pay to see this shit. We don't need and I love how the trailers for it say exclusively in theaters. I'm like, wow, y'all really trying to stab people and rob them? Huh?
All right. So Adam Robitel is the director of.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
The Insidious, The Last Key.
There you go.
Let's see what else.
Yeah.
He went from just The Taking of Deborah Logan to Insidious and all of the Insidiouses. There's a new Insidious movie coming out then, I guess.
Jesus Christ.
Insidious, The Dark Realm. It's in post-production right now.
I've only seen the first 3.
Yeah, so
I have not seen The Lost Key. I will now that I know that this nigga directed it, I will not be seeing The Lost Key. I don't want to see anything this dude ever makes ever.
Yeah, I mean, nothing on here is good on his CV. I haven't seen The Taking of Deborah Logan, so I've never heard of it before. So,
Well, I'm good. I'm good.
You know, are you sure you don't want to see where he came from? See?
All right, so you know what? Let's move on to trailer talk.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right,
So what do we
so
got coming up? What
Star Wars Visions, man. This shit looks cool.
Look, I am Star Warsed out. It's probably going to be really, really awesome. For those that don't know, Star Wars Visions.
It's an anime show. On Disney Plus.
Right. Sort of like what they did with, like the Matrix.
Yeah, the Animatrix.
The Animatrix, or what they did with, I can't think of it right now. Oh my God. Brain fart.
Like Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, yeah. Or like Love, Sex, and Robots, or whatever like that. Yeah.
It looks cool.
It looks cool, but like I said, I can't invest in another Star Wars property, man.
I think Star Wars fits anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because it's nothing.
I don't like anime, period. But
I mean, it's a Star Wars is basically just space samurais, so
Yeah.
it kind of fits. Yeah.
yeah, man. So I'm excited for it. Comes out in September.
Yeah, I mean, but we haven't, like, what you sent me was just a sort of like behind the scenes sort of
It's
feature,
teaser.
right?
It gives you, and they have some clips from what's finished.
Right.
So
Yeah, but like it's gonna be interesting. Whether it's gonna be good or not, that's fine. But
real quick, speaking of Disney Plus, I forgot to say I watched the first 2 episodes of Monsters at Work. It's the Monsters Inc. Continuation.
oh yeah,
I didn't even know it dropped it until I woke up Wednesday and saw it up on there. It's good. It's
Yeah.
really good. I think maybe some of these things that Pixar's doing should just be TV shows. Like maybe just do an Incredibles TV show.
Yeah, because I mean, Monsters Inc. is one of my favorite Pixar movies.
Yeah, watch the first 2 episodes. It's really cool.
Okay.
It's really cool
right.
because it's trying to pick up the pieces of where they left off. So you know how they have to get laughs instead of scares.
Right.
Really struggling there.
So's the world. So's the world.
So speaking of Disney Plus, we got another trailer for Disney Plus called What If? Marvel's
Yes.
What If. Comes out next month. It looks really cool, man. I love the animation on it.
I love the animation. I've always loved Elsewhere comics, or like the What If series and shit like that in the comics, where you take a character and you change something in their timeline and they become a different,
Yeah, because
interpretation.
T'Challa's Star-Lord in an
cannot wait for
episode. I want to see Peggy as Captain Britain. What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark and Tony Stark never became Iron Man? Like, it looks cool. I'm glad we're getting to this is what they're going all in on now. We'll get to it later.
Right.
But clearly the multiverse is what they're putting their chips in.
I mean, that's phase 4.
Yeah.
That's multiverse.
And we'll get into it later because we got to do our Black Widow review. But yeah, I'm excited for What If next month.
Yeah, it's coming up fast. But,
Yeah, man.
I hope they drop them all at the same time. I know they won't, but I kind of really enjoy binge watching. I hate the anticipation of having to wait for the next.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So we're all on the same page. We could all talk about the same shit at the same time. Keeps you in suspense. Keeps you looking forward to something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Because like every Wednesday, I've been waking up extra early so I can catch that Loki before anyone.
Oh yeah, I wake up on days I usually have to go to work on Wednesdays, like Wednesdays and Fridays when I was going to school, had to do my school job, because I work at a school.
Right.
I'd wake up at 3:00 so I could watch these Marvel shows and then work out right away and then shower and go to work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what if's gonna kill it? I don't know how possibly they could mess this up.
Yeah. Well, I'm rooting for it.
Yeah.
QUEENPINS.
QUEENPINS. Oh, I didn't see that on the list. Tell me about that.
So it is a film with Kristen Bell, Vince Vaughn, and Paul Walter Hauser. It's about these two women. It's Kristen Bell and this black woman. They start scheming on coupons because, you know, they're broke, and they're like, yo, we should start, like, all these companies are scheming money. Let's start scheming from the company. So they start getting all these coupons. They pull a coupon heist and start making money off of giving the coupons out. Like, hey, you give us $50, we'll give you like $2,000 worth of savings. And this is loosely based on a true story. And I was like, oh shit, these why haven't I I was like, why didn't I think of a scam like this?
I know a couple of extreme couponers, and they take that shit real seriously.
But then I'm watching the trailer. I'm like, damn, do I need to start hunting for coupons?
Yeah, you do.
These
man.
bitches are like saving money.
But like the work you have to put into it isn't, like, to me, it's not worth it, because you have to put in a lot of fucking work.
Yeah.
To make this shit work for you the way these women are making it work for them. But if you're willing to put in the work, man, sky's the limit, sky. But it's like having another job.
But yeah, I mean, it looks decent.
Okay.
I really hope it's good. And yeah, QUEENPINS, another female fronted movie, man. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I would like very much to have more stories surrounding women that are actually told well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like,
and this looks like a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I'm up for fun. Didn't they cancel Good Girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we need something to fill the Good Girls that void.
Well, this looks like a comedy drama more in the vein of like Hustlers.
Okay.
So, except not as serious as Hustlers is.
I wanted to like Hustlers more than I did.
I thought it was pretty good. Did I think it was it anything special? No, but I thought it was pretty good.
It was okay. My problem was with the editing.
Fair enough.
It was real fucking clunky.
All right. Well, Disney dropped a teaser for their it's another Hispanic movie, because they did Coco, and Coco was very good.
Right.
This is called Encanto.
And I love this trailer.
It looks like
so much fun. It looks like so much fun.
I feel bad because that whole family's shitting on this girl.
Right. So the concept is that there's this magical family that live in this magical house, and they have just one child who's just plain Jane, has no powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that shit.
It looks colorful.
It looks so much fun. It looks beautiful.
This is one where I'm probably gonna see it, eat an edible, and just, you know,
as you do.
Just take it in, you know. This is one I want to wash over me. Hopefully it's fun, you know what I mean. Gotta rewatch Raya and the Last Dragon because it's finally up on Disney Plus. Keep me in to do that. But yeah, man, I hope it's good. That's all I can say. We'll move on to another family film, one from my childhood. I grew up reading these books. Clifford the Big Red Dog. This could go either way, honestly. So it could go either way.
I've got a history with Clifford the Big Red Dog. I used to work for Scholastic when I was in college.
That's dope.
That was my job. I worked at in their corporate library, and you know, I would be surrounded by Clifford the Big Red Dog books. And then like one Christmas, they had me dress up as Clifford the Big Red Dog to like do all the shit with the kids, and it was torturous. It was like I was waterboarding myself. It was so hot in this fucking costume. So me and Clifford, we go back a long way. We got a history. And from watching this trailer, that dog looks terrifying to me.
It's the problem with CG characters. They either look good or they don't. And you know what, man? Maybe they should have made him a little more cartoonish like Tom and Jerry.
Right, a little more cartoonish. Or here's something they could have done. They could have just like
made the movie animated,
or just superimposed a real dog instead of doing a CG dog. You know, like just superimpose.
Oh, make a real dog look big.
Right. Insert the dog in there.
Well, you know, I will not torture you into seeing this. I will see this one and take it, and
I mean, yeah.
I'll come back and let everybody know.
I mean, maybe they'll fix the animation before it comes out. I mean, they did that with Sonic.
Sonic, it was fun.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought that was going to be a piece of shit, and then I came out, I was like, wow, that was actually fun.
Yeah, so like, I don't have a problem with this Clifford the Big Red Dog, besides the fact that the dog looks like it's something from a nightmare.
All right, let's move on to Lamb.
Lamb looks like a beautiful film. I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah. All I know it's coming out from Neon and stars Noomi Rapace. And you know what, man? Noomi Rapace, I will give her the benefit of the doubt. This is one of her more high-profile movies in a minute because it's getting a theatrical release. People are hyping it up out of all these festivals it's been playing at. So but that's all I can say.
I mean, it's got this real air of dread going through it, and it's beautifully shot, like just these sweeping vistas.
Yeah.
But like I said, it gives you no indication about what this thing's about.
We're gonna have to literally going to have to like Google this movie and give like a plot description next week, because we have fucking no clue.
Let me handy Danny, you fill some space.
All right, well while Jeff looks that up, we're gonna real quickly talk about something we've all, and I'm pretty sure you the listener have been looking forward to, because we've all been waiting on pins and needles for this. Season 3. They've dropped the trailer.
Yeah.
For Succession. The 3rd season. Kendall versus Logan.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hope Kendall wins, man. He's been through a lot. Because
I mean, he is a fuck up. I mean, he did put himself in a lot of these predicaments, but he doesn't deserve what he's gotten.
Yeah, he had to point out to his siblings, like, yo, our father was going to send me to prison for something he did. Imagine what he's going to do to you guys. Whoa. We saw the lightning strike. That is fucking... Yeah, it is thundering and lightning during this episode, as you can hear.
That is production value, my friend. That is production value.
That shit scared. That shit looks scary. I'm afraid to go outside when it's time to leave.
Oh, that's cool.
I got to drive home.
Yeah,
and pray I don't get struck by lightning.
I'm gonna have to get an Uber for the 2.5 blocks I have to my house.
So, what did you find?
I did find Lamb. A childless couple, Maria and Ingvar, discover a mysterious newborn on their farm in Iceland. The unexpected prospect of family life brings them much joy before ultimately destroying them. That's it.
So they're obviously keeping something secret here. Yeah. Like they're playing this one close to the chest. Yeah. I guess I guess something's gonna happen with a lamb, or like maybe it's like a human hybrid type thing.
Nah, I think it's probably gonna be the Lamb of God.
All right,
it's probably gonna be the rebirth of Jesus,
all right,
or some shit like that.
So yeah, they're obviously playing coy. Yeah. So,
but that's like my guess. By just reading that, is just like they end up with something spiritual in nature.
Yeah. So real quickly, back to Succession season 3. I'm going to personally wait till right before the last episode and binge it, because I love binging this show.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to hold off on watching the show up until that weekend where the last episode is going to air, and I'm going to go through all season 3.
Fair enough. See, like some things you just got to binge.
Yeah,
man.
that one's bingeable just because like.
But when you binge Succession, you go out in the real world, you act like a straight dick. I know I did. I'm just straight buy, sell, high, low, get out of my way. Businessman.
To me, I didn't, because I was just like, this is a Game of Thrones for the Murdochs.
Yeah.
It's Game of Thrones with the Murdochs without all the murder and rape that Game of Thrones has.
Like half the amount.
And it's funny. That's the one. It's hilarious. The show is hilarious.
Like when they first mentioned this show to me, and they said it was a comedy. It's listed as a comedy. It's like, how is this fucking funny? How is this show about rich people going like?
It's very dry. It's very dry humor,
and it's hilarious.
Yes,
it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. because a lot of the humor comes out from them just being fucking awful.
Yeah, to each other.
Yeah.
And to everyone else.
Yeah. So, this fall.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get into our main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurts feature film review.
All right. Well, I want to start off with, I saw this shit in IMAX, and as soon as the opening Marvel logo popped up on screen, motherfuckers stood up and clapped. I was looking around like, what is going on? I look over, a lady 2 seats over, her and her husband were crying. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers really miss Marvel.
Right.
God
They've been through a lot this year.
Jesus Christ.
They've
I
been
was
through
like,
a whole lot, man.
I was just like, everybody was like, yeah. And I'm like,
They needed this.
yo, it is 3:30 on a Friday afternoon, y'all. Like,
They needed
relax. Like, relax.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the first Marvel movie in 2 years, but I like, relax.
this is all that they have. We have to realize that. To us, it's just fucking movies, but to some people, this is all they have.
Damn, this shit better fall through for me then, because like I want to go to the theater and have, you know.
I wish I could be that excited about anything.
Like, god damn. Well, so we're talking about Black Widow. Black Widow just dropped. It is, to me, a combination of the first Bourne movie and the last few Mission Impossibles with the third act of a Bond movie.
Yeah. I went into this not expecting much. I felt like the movie was sort of like a debt that Kevin Feige had to pay off.
And it still feels like that.
Yeah, to some extent, but like I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I've got some issues with it.
Oh, I got many.
But like it falls nicely in the like I don't hate myself for watching this thing.
Here's what I do like about it. I like that this if you're not familiar with the MCU and you want to see like a nice female fronted action film, you could go in and watch this and be okay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You can go into this cold.
Yeah, and just be okay. Like there's no overall like shoving in, you have to know this and this to get the story for the MCU. This is so detached in its own thing.
Right.
And that's the best thing I could say about it, because it was nice to just watch one of these things and just be like, all right, cool. So
I don't have to think about like where this fits in or like or how who's this mysterious character.
Yeah, right. They explicitly say, hey, this is right after Civil War. She's on the run, and that's it.
Right. So I felt about this movie the same, because people are having arguments online already about this shit.
Oh, of course.
I feel the same way about this movie as I felt about The Joker, because a lot of people watching The Joker were like, well, that's not canon. That's not how that happened.
Oh, Taskmaster?
Right. And to me, that's like, okay, if you take the fact that it's a Marvel movie or it's Joker away, is it still a good movie? And yes, like if you take away the whole entire Marvel Black Widow thing, and if this was just about Agent X,
oh man, I probably would have liked it a little more.
You know, is it a good movie? And I can say yes.
I like what they did with Taskmaster. Taskmaster was never that interesting of a character to begin with.
So many people online was like, "Oh, they messed up Taskmaster," and I'm like, "Did they really though? Did they really?"
Taskmaster was a OP'd, and OP'd for people who aren't nerds is overpowered. Taskmaster was an overpowered villain. Like I never saw the appeal, because I'm just like, I mean, how you beat somebody that's unbeatable? That's just corny. After a while, it just gets corny.
Right.
And what they did here with Taskmaster, they gave Taskmaster some pain, some pathos, some reason for this character to exist.
Right. Whether you agree with that or not, that's a different story. But at least they tried.
And I thought it was cool. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, they Mandarin Taskmaster." I'm like,
I was like, no, not at all. I mean, we don't want to give away to anybody who's going to watch this.
Yeah.
But if you're a Marvel fan, if you're a comic book fan in general, look, sometimes they have to change shit for the better or for the worst.
Because they got to keep in mind, there's people who don't read fucking comics who watch these movies.
Right, and I know you grew up, I know you think this is yours, but it's not.
Right.
You don't own it.
Right.
Like, they can do, it's like, oh, they messed up Taskmaster. It's like, no, they didn't. They did what they wanted to do with it because it's theirs.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not mad what they did here because it falls in line. Taskmaster's whole thing falls in line with the themes of the movie, and I love the themes of the movie. Yeah. This is a very feminist film, and it's done very well. And I would like to say why it's a feminist film. I didn't know Ray Winstone was in this movie till I sat in the theater and was watching it.
Right, neither did I.
I had no clue, so that was a nice surprise. Ray Winstone is basically like the reason why there's a Red Room and the Black Widows exist, and the way he talks and the way he treats the women, I'm like, bro, you come across as a rapist. Like, you're literally owning these women's bodies, mind controlling them. Like, it is very, like, the message in this movie is very feminist, but it is done in such a smart, cool way where it's just like, damn, this shit, like, you feel, when he starts beating her, I'm like, you feel that shit.
And, like, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think, honestly, Ray Winstone's character should have just been called Gaslighter.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Because that's what it was. And honestly, talking about the feminist sort of leanings of it, or like the women empowerment. So I'm thinking, like, I've got to do a self-inventory on myself, and maybe the fans do too. Do you not like the movie because you don't like the movie because it's not good? Or do you not like the movie because you're a man and this movie isn't kind of pandering to you?
Right.
You know? I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but I had to, like, do a self-inventory. It's like, are the things that I don't like about it honestly bad? Or is it just my frame of reference because it's not about me?
Yeah. I mean, my biggest problem here is this is not Marvel's fault. This is COVID's fault. But, like, coming from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or excuse me, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, where the spy craft was done better, the hand-to-hand fights were better, it had a big budget, and then going now, Loki's wrapping up this week.
This is the last episode of Loki this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll be getting a review for Loki next week. Yeah. It's hard for me because Loki week to week is doing weird shit on just a bigger scale than this movie. Great storytelling, has better production design, better cinematography, better directing, and it's just like you guys got to be careful about what you're asking people to see in the theater versus what's going to be a Disney Plus show. Because I was talking to a friend after we saw this, and I was just like, didn't this feel like a 2-hour pilot for a Disney Plus show? And he said yes. And I pointed out what I just said, like with Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he's just like, yeah, absolutely. That's the one disadvantage for this movie is, like, you see this and you're just like, well, it feels slight because we're in the midst of all this epic world building shit. Like, we're building to a new Captain America. We're building the multiverse now between two shows now. That's going to lead up into not only a new Spider-Man, but it's going to culminate in this big fucking Doctor Strange movie, which is talking to a lot of people who love Marvel. It seems like everybody's like dying to see Doctor Strange. Which it has an awesome title, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's fucking crazy ass title. I love that title. But yeah, it's just like it feels slight, and that's not the movie's fault. It's just
it's timing. It's timing because honestly, this should have come out right after Civil War.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yep.
And part of the reason that I had a hard time connecting with the movie is because I know the main character is dead.
Well,
yeah,
it's not that, but it's just like, I think this would have, like you said, if this came out right after Civil War, this would have been a nice palate cleanser between all the big shit. Because we still had Guardians, which is big. Guardians Volume 2. We still had Thor, which was big. Had Infinity War. Even Far From Home is a big movie.
Right.
Like that you feel like the weight and the scale, like that was supposed to be seen on screen. This would have been a nice little medium-sized movie, palate cleanser. Like, hey, here's something like what Ant-Man does. And I like this better than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I like them on par.
I like it better than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like it better than Captain Marvel.
I like Captain Marvel better. I like it better than Iron Man 2, and I definitely like it better than the first Captain America movie.
All right, fair enough.
But I mean, I will say, like, the whole sequence in Budapest is amazing. From when she breaks into the safe house to when they escape through the ventilation system, like that whole 20-minute stretch, I'm like, this is what I come to the movies for.
Right. And like, honestly, the action, there's not that many big action set pieces.
Yeah.
Considering
it's Budapest, it's the prison break, and then
there's the
third act.
There's the Red Room.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then I think I guess you can say before then, when she's fighting Taskmaster on the bridge.
I guess.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Once again, like Scarlett Johansson playing very wooden. Yeah.
And she's not even the most interesting character in the movie.
Let's give it for Florence Pugh.
Yeah, she's been putting in work.
She kills it. She's my favorite character in this fucking movie.
And you feel the feminist themes through her pain. Like when Red Guardian says to her, like, what's wrong with you two? Time of the month. And they have to explain to him the sterilization process that they went through because of you. And I'm just like, yeah, man, I would be pissed too, bro. Like, they ripped out their uterus. They say that.
Right. And like, so that character is who we're really anchored to.
Yeah.
Like more than, Black Widow. We're anchored to the Elena character.
Right.
And I'm here for the ride because she's smart. She's funny.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel like
you feel her anger.
You feel her anger, even in her like funny, biting comments.
Right.
Like you can feel the anger right there, and like
Red Guardian was good. He was well developed. My only thing is Rachel Weisz. She needs to be better developed to make it believable what happens with her character in the third act.
Everybody gets some sort of backstory besides her, and that does kind of take away from the movie, especially with the I don't even want to mention it, but like the sort of twist that happens.
Right.
Which seemed lazy to me. The twist seems lazy because that character was never very fully developed.
My thing, yeah, man, because we talked about this. To make that third act work, you needed like another 5 or 10 minutes with that character, and you needed to switch her and Red Guardian around, right? Because you could have had Red Guardian come in the third act and just let that be that, but like her, she needed to be introduced a little further into the movie,
right?
Than when she comes in, because like the whole movie opens with this whole Americans-esque sequence of them like literally escaping
from America, yeah.
So I mean. David Harbour's killing it though as Red Guardian. Like Red Guardian, the prison sequence where he breaks Homeboy's hand, that shit is hilarious.
It's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. It's better than I expected it to be. I just wish COVID and a lot of other things hadn't put it where it is on the timeline.
I think it's telling that I was blown away by a trailer I already saw. Like they showed the Eternals trailer in full IMAX, and at the end of the trailer it says shot in IMAX, and I was more blown away by seeing that trailer in full IMAX than I was watching the movie. Like the movie, especially at the end where it just becomes, the whole CG explosion and like she's surfing on debris and jumping from debris to debris. I'm just like,
it feels like a boss battle.
For a movie that was relatively grounded, it didn't need to go to that. And I get it because she's watching a Bond movie at the beginning. It didn't need to go to that whole big Bond set piece at the end. And it would have been cool if they kept it a little smaller, like a Bourne movie, and just had it like, or even Mission Impossible, where it's like mostly practical and hand to hand. Like the best part of that third act was Red Guardian fighting Taskmaster.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the only other thing I'm gonna say is the The black dude, he ain't need to be in there.
He's even on the poster.
Yeah,
it's like
and he's like fourth build. He doesn't
like he's in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's not good. He ain't need to be in there. So
like, I'm all about black people, black power, but he doesn't need to be in there.
Anything else you got to say?
Nah, I mean, watch it, but like keep your expectations grounded. It's not bad, but it's not the best Marvel movie. It's a nice palate cleanser, like you said.
Well, like I told you, I was looking forward to Jungle Cruise, and I'm not even anticipating Jungle Cruise, but I was looking more forward to Jungle Cruise because you're watching The Rock and Emily Blunt charm me during an action adventure. So so that's all we got on Black Widow.
All right, so
that's episode 12.
In the can.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, and I am not the motherfucking protagonist.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.